Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. I'm Muhammad Zaini bin Muhammad Nasir, material number 28541. Today I will present on the tema agriculture and agro-basic industry, industry sector and service sector. In the topic, I want talking about issue and problem in each sector. In general, the service sector is one of the important economic sector in the development of a country. In this case, the service sector consists of three sectors including primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. These three sectors are closely related to each other. The secondary sector is the sector that carries out activity related to raw material and semi-finished. In the Malaysian economy, the service sector and the manufacturing sector must play an important role in increasing national income and to be able to compete with developed countries. The first sector is the agriculture sector, which is the most important sector in a country. This agriculture sector is divided into two, namely food crop and industry crops. For example, food crops, which refer to the production of daily food such as vegetable, fruit, and belight, compared to industry crop, where the production of commodities such as products need to be processed, such as oil, palm, tea, and so on. What are the issues and problems in the agriculture sector? The first issue is climate change and whether this problem is a big problem for the agriculture sector, as it cannot affect and adversely affect the crop, and at the same time it is also detrimental to the farmer. For example, the problem also fraud and drought. Second, labor problem. Farmers are also no longer interested in doing agriculture, which has to be a job for generation. Granting on that, the next generation will expect to continue their generational job and more interested in migrating to big city in search of bigger jobs that offer higher and more increased income. Therefore, a skilled labor force cannot be born. The issue and problem for transformation. Uneconomical land size result in higher productivity and production costs. Program that obtain scalable benefits such as cluster project, consideration for either land and an estate, and cluster basic. The lack of capital. Lack of capital is an obstacle to absorb modern technology, especially replanting or rubber crop with thin branch or colonies that are higher in productivity and lucrative result. This definition will result is good planning and efficient management not being feasible. Secondly, I will discuss the agro-basic industry. The agro-basic industry is a fast-growing sector wherein it involves the process agricultural product to diversify the downstream agriculture-basic industries such as crops, livestock, and aquaculture. In the modern area, agro-basic industry projects have been implemented to increase the income of farmers and entrepreneurs by using a variety of existing agricultural resources, including the MADA Agriculture Entrepreneur Development Program. What the issue and problem agro-basic industry is? The problem of shortage of skilled manpower. Local workers are still skilled in operating the industry sector in Malaysia. Our local manufacturing sector, we find is difficult to produce better quality agro-basic products and goods that are competitive with international products. Second issue and problem, low level of technology. The low level of technology causes difficulties in producing products that meet higher demand rates and higher quality. The issue agro-basic industry is lack of raw material. The decline of products of raw material due to rising market price and forced raw material to be imported to cover the shortage. The result is the produce of agro-basic products decline. Lack of capital. High lack of capital to produce higher production of agro-basic industry products to meet the growing rate of domestic and foreign demand. Next, I will discuss the service sector. In general, the service sector is one of the sectors in the national economy that involves the provision of service to producer and consumer. It is also known as the economic sector. Compared to other states, the Selangor service sector is the largest in terms of contribution to the Malaysian service sector, where the estimated contribution of the service sector to the state's economy. The issue and problem service sector is labor productivity. The level of labor productivity in the service sector, especially among SME, is still low compared to SME in the manufacturing and agriculture sector. Factors affecting productivity in the service sector include low technology utilization, dependence of foreign workers, as well as complex regulatory framework and weight in this situation. Second issue and problem, skilled worker and skill mismatch. The shift to knowledge-intensive service activity requires more skilled workers to enable moderation and increase use of new technology. And next issue and problem service sector is regulatory framework and use of technology and research and development. New technology increase competition and change in consumer behavior requires funds to constantly implement continuous improvements in product and process innovation in order to remain competitive. Strategy for resolve issue, agriculture and agro-basic. The government need to analyze the information of the country's socio-economic development strategy industry sector. The agriculture sector has used technology to further increase production resources such as drones, smart farming systems, and higher quality seeds that are highly resilient to the effects of climate change. Industry demand organization committed. This is able to help the organization achieve its competitive advantage to increase labor and operational management efficiency and overall cost reduction. Improving access to finance to support innovation will be improved by increase the level of confidence and finance institution in the process and risk of innovation. Strategy for issue service sector, make a training workshop. This is done in order to improve skill and knowledge of the task or work performed. Provide management guidance and quality improvement in service. This guide will be reference for government agency in shaping the best quality management in the service sector. In conclusion, there are three improvement sectors in Malaysia consisting of the primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. Research found that there are several issues and problems in this sector such as climate change and water labor problem for the agriculture sector, with low level of technology and lack of capital for the agro-basic industry sector. Furthermore, there are also issues and problems that occur in the service sector such as labor productivity, skilled worker, and skill mismatch. The review found some suggestions to address this issue. Demand organization commitment, improvement sector to finance, and made a training workshop. The research hope that this sector expanded and developed in order to increase economic income.